On tonight's Marion Star Live, we talked to Principal John Fletcher to take a look at the renovations happening at Lincoln Elementary School this summer.
And Victoria tells us about the Marion High School dance team who has already qualified for a national dance competition.
Riley and Rachel also give us an inside look at a county rivalry that is being renewed this football season on week 1.
That's right, and Bill will be here with news from around the county of today and news from the past in a new Turning Back Time installment.
And we introduce you to 2 incredible young women who are doing exceptional things in the state and right here in Marion too.
All of this and so much more on tonight's Marion Star Live.
Now live from Swinford Media Group. The Marion Star, where Marion is the star.
Good evening and welcome to this Marion Star Live. I'm Rachel Stroud and this is Victoria Shore. In just a few short weeks, students will be filing back in the doors and starting the new school year. Victoria got to sit down with John Fletcher and he gave us a little sneak peek into what students and teachers can expect in Marion Unit 2 School District for this upcoming school year.
Construction is underway at Lincoln Elementary School as the district prepares its schools to go back in session come August. This summer, Lincoln is experiencing the largest project in the district, which began June 2nd and will finish by the beginning of August. Lincoln Principal John Fletcher says this is a $2.5 million project that will be completed in 2 phases. This summer, they're working hard to remove the individual AC units from each classroom and replace them with a central HVAC system. This new air conditioning system will improve air circulation as well as maintain cleaner and healthier air for the occupants of the building. The back half of the elementary school will undergo these same improvements next summer, after which the building renovation should be complete. Fletcher notes that by replacing the air conditioning systems, there will now be extra square footage to each classroom that can now be utilized by teachers and students. Across the district, the unit is giving schools fresh paint jobs, replacing asphalt, and making other general upgrades. Everything will be ready for students to step back into school doors come August and will make getting back to school just a bit shinier. For the Marion Star Live, Victoria Shore. A little over 2 years ago, the Marion dance team traveled to Orlando, Florida to compete at UDA Nationals that takes place at Walt Disney World Resort. Now, in order to reach the stage at Nationals, however, the dance team has to undergo intense practicing and secure a qualifying score at a preliminary camp. Well, just last week, the dance team for this year secured that qualifying score at a camp in St. Louis, and now they're Nationals bound once more. I spoke to the coach, Laura Sanders, and a couple members from the team to hear about their excitement and preparations for this upcoming year. At the St. Louis College of Pharmacy, the Marion dance team secured a qualifying score to compete at UDA Nationals. The athletes on the team are increasing their technical skills and focusing on becoming the best dancers they can be in Orlando, Florida. Co-captain Audrey Ide tells me about the Nationals experience.
So we're working really hard, extra hard this year, I think, and we have multiple different technique classes that the girls are taking to improve outside the team so that we can grow when we're in our practice time. And we're just really drilling hard at practice and getting things done. In regards to what we expect, obviously the competition is going to be harder than other times at state and everything, but we're really excited to show what we got and show people in Florida what Marion has to offer.
The girls also had the opportunity to have fun at UDA camp, having a team bonding Broadway-themed night. But UDA camp is mostly business, and Laura Sanders tells us about how it prepares girls for Nationals.
They get to learn a variety of different styles, which then pushes them to be better in different areas of their dance life. And it also brings them together as a team. One thing about kind of trial by fire, you have to kind of get in there, learn difficult routines, things outside your comfort zone. You then have to practice those routines to perfect them. You work with your teammates, and you really start to bond with everyone.
This is just another sign that things will return to normal this year, which junior letter girl Catherine Woodford is very excited about.
I am so excited to be able to have a normal season this year. My freshman year, I was still able to do everything. It was a pretty normal season whenever it came to like football and stuff, but it's just, I feel like such a fun time, and it creates like such a good bond between our team. I feel like during football season, like we're all able to like get to know each other, and it's just, I'm so excited to put on the white boots.
Congratulations, ladies. Another group in town has been hard at work this summer. The staff and volunteers at the Boynton Street Community Center have been providing a fun and safe place for students to spend the summer while they are in school. Now, the leaders there are gearing up for their upcoming after-school program, which will start whenever the kids go back to school. But they are in desperate need of one thing: volunteers. Our Dennis Kellerman got to sit down with the leaders there and find out what they're doing and how we can all get involved and help out.
In the summer, again, we are focusing on our children. Nutrition is important, so we do have our meal program, and that is Monday through Friday, and it starts at 1 o'clock, ends at 2:30. Still in the grab and go, process, but we do have some dine-in.
And we serve kids lunch from 18 and under. And I've been with the Boynton Street, before it even opened up. Because years ago, we used to serve lunches out of the church. Summer lunch programs out of Paul's Chapel Church until the center got here. Then we started serving them here. It motivates me because I want to help the kids, It's meals for when school's out, they'll have something to eat. My kids, when they were little, went come up here for lunch, they called it free lunch program. And I just enjoy doing it.
So throughout the summer, we have a program after our lunch program every day at 2:45. On Mondays, we show our Movie Mondays, which shows a movie that is relatively new for the kids to come in and take a break from the heat. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have our recreation, where we either take them outside to play kickball, or we come in and do board games or play on the Wii or any type of other games. Wednesdays, we have our special programs where we're partnering with the 4-H, then the Illinois Extension Center, and they do STEM challenges, the science, technology, and engineering programs.
So we got that going. We've got a reading program, and that's kind of sponsored by some of the community people. I know we've worked in conjunction with Marion Library. They've been coming in. We've got an arts and crafts program that some of our volunteers have done since school was over. So we've got that going. And we got bicycle safety that's coming up in conjunction with the Marion Police Department. And last but not least, that's important to me, is the study skills program that we've had every year for the last probably 20 years. And that program pretty much gets the children prepared to go back to school. Test taking tips, time management. Now it's use your technology, better. So we've got a lot of that going on. So yeah. So we've just been consistently offering these programs since 1987, which is a long time. Our programs are open enrollment, including the summer meals. So that means that if you come in, regardless of, where you live in town, you will be served. Where you live in town, you can participate in the activities. So they're open to all children. The summer meals program, it's open to children 1 to 18 years old. We don't do the babies, and I think if you're over 18, if you're in some kind of educational type program, then you're eligible to come to that as well. If they want to help, right now, the main thing, and it's really tricky because of COVID, we're still in a pandemic, is that we do need volunteers. We've got an application process, you got to go through the background check with DCFS and that kind of thing. But it's rewarding for both the child and the adult.
In the fall, our after-school programs runs off of volunteers. We are not able to fully assist all of our students without an efficient number of volunteers, because each kid that comes to that program needs more of a one-on-one type of tutoring, and if we only have 3 volunteers out of all 50 kids, we can't even get to many of the kids and get their homework done to where they can have good grades in school. If you're interested in volunteering, you can reach us at 618-997-1113, and we can get that process filled out, because that is the major thing we are looking for, is volunteers, because we can't run our programs without them.
Now, don't go anywhere, because when we come back, Bill will give us a look at the past in his new Turning Back Time installment, and Riley and I will give you a look into the future as 2 county rivals prepare to meet on the gridiron for the first time in a decade. And Victoria introduces us to Miss Illinois 2021. Don't go anywhere.
When you're shopping for a new or used vehicle at Watermark, you'll notice the Warranty Forever sticker on the windshield. Here's what that actually means. The powertrain on the vehicle is covered for unlimited mileage and unlimited time. That's the engine and transmission. There's no cost to you. It covers 100% parts and 100% labor. That means when you purchase a vehicle from Watermark, you have coverage for as long as you own the vehicle. So when you think of Watermark, think of Warranty Forever and true peace of mind.
The dual credit and dual enrollment program is for high school students that are interested in earning John A. Logan credit. And for dual credit, oftentimes students can get high school and college credit at the same time by taking one class. And with dual enrollment, it's most often just for John A. Logan credit, but either way, they're earning early college credit. The dual credit program is here to help students navigate through all of their opportunities.
Swinford Media and the Marion Star appreciate the support of the Arcadia Wealth Group, which is sponsoring Wildcat Wednesdays and our Turning Back Time segments. In 1839, the new county of Williamson had been broken off of Franklin County by the Illinois State Legislature. Mostly prairie land, the new county needed a county seat, and the only viable option was the settlement of Bainbridge, which can be identified today by these tombstones that were found and have been reassembled where the settlement once stood. It took until 1851 for the General Assembly to provide a town charter for a proper county seat, which was, for no compelling reason, named Marion after a Revolutionary War hero, the old swamp fox Francis Marion. The new town would be located 3.5 miles to the east of Bainbridge. The first town charter covered an area 1 mile square with a public square at the center, but the original survey only covered the square itself, which they located almost dead center in Williamson County. That center point is actually just south of the square on Market Street. It's believed that planners decided the higher ground that became the square better served the new town. For several years, there wasn't much more to Marion than the blocks around the square. Family farms could be found on every side, including the Cunningham Farm, where Washington School now stands. The square looked like an old west town, just a large dirt plot with buildings and houses on each side. It was in the town center that Farmer Cunningham's son-in-law, John A. Logan, stood in a wagon and appealed to his fellow Southern Illinoisans to keep our region in the Union at the outbreak of the Civil War. Here he is, played by Dan Cheatham in a reenactment during the county's sesquicentennial in 1989. Because it was the county seat, a courthouse was a necessity. For nearly 50 years, fairly nondescript buildings had served the purpose, 2 of them on the southeastern corner of the square. The second official courthouse burned in 1875, and as you can see by this photo, many of the furnishings were saved by workers and volunteers who dragged them out to the dirt square. In the election of November 1875, voters defeated a special tax that would accumulate a building fund for a new courthouse in 5 years. And the question was argued for another 10 years before a tax and fund were finally established. $18,000 was raised by this means, and the third courthouse began to be constructed for the first time in the middle of the public square. Through 1889, the red brick wall slowly rose and the cupola crowned the work. A space was left at the top for a clock, but the county initially couldn't afford one. This clock face, now resting at the Williamson County Historical Museum, was not installed until 1907. Despite that, the new brick courthouse became the pride of the still small county seat. It was documented in photographs, postcards, and paintings to share with the world. Over time, the square itself was bricked and then paved, and other impressive buildings rose with a square's centerpiece. One came in 1914 when a new state and savings bank, later to be called the Hotel State and the Citadel, was constructed on the west side. In 1921, a new 6-story courthouse was proposed and projected plans drawn up. As you can see, it would have been made of white stone, similar to the Citadel, but it was defeated in 1922 and never got off the ground. In 1938, a Works Progress Administration allotment was secured to aid in remodeling the building at a cost of $40,000. New wings were added, tile floors laid, the basement vaults enlarged, all the rooms redecorated, and the proponents of a white courthouse finally got their way as the brick was painted. However, 25 years later, the courthouse was sandblasted back to its original brick appearance. About that time, the Williamson County judges went to the Williamson County Building Commission and requested that a new courthouse be built. So construction on a new 3-level brick building located at 200 West Jefferson Street was started in September 1969 and completed in the fall of 1971. The old courthouse on the square was given to the city of Marion. During the latter part of January 1972, it was demolished. As you can see by these images, the clock face was removed and eventually given to the Historical Society, but the cupola was too old to survive and not removed prior to demolition as had been originally planned. A plan was already in place for a tower to stand at the center of the square, with a reproduced cupola and weather vane around the old courthouse bell and a new clock. So after the rubble was cleared, it left something of a chasm that filled with water while planners were engineering the new tower. In this grainy photo, you might be able to see that 2 of the planners are in a rowboat. Holmes Construction raised the new 93-foot tower later in 1972 at the old courthouse location. There had been concern that without the courthouse, the square might be forgotten, so Mayor Robert Butler and his city council planned a pedestrian plaza. Benches provided seats amid flowers growing from angular planters surrounding the tower and amid the trees and shrubs on the 130-foot diameter plaza. The planters were designed to represent signs of the zodiac and arranged so that the shadow of the sun by the tower should determine the time of day, acting as a huge sundial. It was all part of a multi-year plan to give the square a facelift to go with the new pedestrian plaza, and overall, the City of Marion's renovations of the public square and the downtown cost the city about $400,000. It was reported that downtown merchants spent more than twice that much to upgrade the appearance of their own buildings. Within a few years, after a request by the Marion Chamber of Commerce, the city changed the name of its public square to Tower Square Plaza. Now for almost 50 years, the plaza design has served the city well. The center of town has again been immortalized in postcards, photographs, and yes, paintings. Now under a new administration, another revitalization is underway with millions in public and private investment. Soon, in place of the Zodiac planters, there will be fountains, new seating, new flowers and greenery, and in season, even a skating rink. And though the courthouse is no longer there to attract crowds, there will continue to be important moments in the history of Williamson County played out on Marion's public square. Thanks to Sam Latuca and his Marion, Illinois Historic Preservation website for help with photos and background information for this story, and to the Arcadia Wealth Group for their continued support of these history lessons. Reporting for the Marion Star Live, I'm Bill Swinford.
Thanks, Bill. There's also something very exciting happening in the county. For the first time in a decade, 2 rival teams, Marion and Heron, will meet on the gridiron. They're going to be playing each other in week 1 of football this fall. Now, the rivalry gets resurrected on August 28th, and Riley and I had the opportunity to catch up with both schools' athletic directors and head coaches to find out more.
I'm now joined by Heron High School Athletic Director Andrew Anderson and the new coach of the Tigers, Taylor Perry. Andrew, you've been a Heron native your whole life. You've grown up around this rivalry. You know it's always a good time when the Tigers and Wildcats get together.
Oh, yeah. It's always electrifying. No matter what team, no matter where you're playing at, you always end up having a good game. Whether, you're coming in as a favorite or they're coming in as a favorite, it's always competitive. The kids know each other. We play each other in a lot of sports. It's gone back for decades that we've played one another. And, it's a great game. The crowd's always jam-packed, and it's just a great atmosphere.
And Coach, it's going to be your first night out here as the head coach of the Tigers. Some coaches would schedule a cupcake opponent to kind of ease into things, but you're going right for a team with a lot of recent success, a lot of recent tradition, string of 15-plus playoff appearances. But that's the way you like it, right? To start the season off with a tough opponent and an electric atmosphere.
Yeah, it's going to be a great atmosphere. We expect it to be like a playoff game. And honestly, both programs have been super successful over the past 20 years, so we expect it to be a really competitive game.
I'm now joined by Marion's athletic director. This is Ryan Godisky, and head coach Carrie Martin. Coach Martin, you've met the Tigers on the field at least a dozen times in your coaching career. Can you tell us a little bit about what you remember about those games?
Always a tough game, and you could throw the records out. You can throw with the previous games out during the season. It's always a really, really hard-fought game. It's got a lot of atmosphere. It's that playoff game that's not a playoff game with big crowds and just an exciting week of football for us leading up to it. So we're excited to have it back again.
Ryan, I know that this has been a long time coming. Can you walk us through the logistics of getting this competition set up?
Yeah, whenever I took this job, I'd be lying if I told you this wasn't one of my goals. And I think really it started with Andrew and I's relationship. Andrew's become a pretty good friend of mine the last few years since he stepped in the role as AD. We talk about it every single week. We vent to each other when we're going through tough times, and I think that relationship really helped. And of course, like Coach Martin said, schedule-wise, it's when you think of a football program, a lot of football programs lock up their schedules for anywhere from 3, 4, 5 years sometimes out. And you need sort of a little bit of luck to have that same opening and for those years to line up. So I think between Andrew and I's relationship and the schedule actually working out for week one, it worked out for the better. And we're happy to have it.
Thanks for that update, Rachel. Now, our Rising Stars group continues to work on projects, and this week we want to share with you all one of our members, JC Carver. JC already has her own YouTube channel where she shares stories and teachings and videos about her Christian faith.
That's right, and this past week our team got to help JC produce her next episode. Now we're going to go to a little interview so we can learn more about JC and share a short segment from what we filmed earlier in the week. This is JC. JC, thank you so much for being with us. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm 16 and I'm an incoming junior in Marion High School. I'm also on the speech and acting team at the high school, and I'm on the bowling team as well. I grew up doing theater, and now I work at CBS and am all over the place.
Well, we're excited that you've chosen to spend a little time here with us this summer. We're excited to have you on board and see what all you can do. What got you interested in being a part of our team?
Well, actually, they reached out to me because I have a YouTube channel online. I have a Bible lesson YouTube channel where I sit down and teach devotionals about certain Bible verses and just go more in depth about the meaning and how we can actually put our faith into action.
Oh, that's great. How did you get started doing devotionals on YouTube?
Well, actually, I didn't really think about it until last year in quarantine. It didn't really hit me that I had never read my Bible before. I'd read it here and there, like at church camp or at church sometimes, but it didn't really hit me that, oh wait, there is a whole book that I could sit and read, and I'm not a big reader either, so that was a little intimidating, I'm not gonna lie, but it was really good once I got into it, and I really grew in my faith after that. So, I don't know, it was just something inside of me that I felt like God was pushing me to pursue and spread the word. It's 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 7, and it says, "But the Lord said to Samuel, 'Do not consider his appearance or his height, for I have rejected him. The Lord does not see or look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart.'"
Well, I think that's great that you took a big leap of faith and tried something new, and look where it's gotten you. We're excited to have you to be a part of the team this summer. Is there anything you're really looking forward to doing with us?
Personally, I think I'm just looking for growth and experience and being able to grow together and have a really good community to look into and lean onto. So.
Well, we're excited to have you to be a part of the team. Be sure you keep an eye right here on our Facebook page for JC and some of the work she'll do this summer. And as always, keep an eye on the Marion Star newspaper for more.
After the break, we'll bring you an exclusive interview with Miss Illinois 2021, Isabel Hansen, and we'll show you all some furry friends that are being rescued by a Marion resident. So for all of that and more, stay tuned.
Major support for this and other Swinford Media productions is provided by the owners of Black Diamond Harley-Davidson and their family of businesses.
It's time for the Medical Minute from Heartland Regional.
Board-certified gastroenterologist Dr. Raza Hamdani shares information about an all-too-familiar diagnosis, IBS or irritable bowel syndrome.
Irritable bowel syndrome is a very common condition, presenting as bloating very frequently, abdominal cramps and pain, and changes in bowel habits with diarrhea at times or constipation.
When should someone seek treatment for IBS?
If the patient's symptoms were to become more severe or to become more frequent, those would be the indications to seek out help from a physician.
If your IBS symptoms aren't going away and impacting the quality of your life, schedule an appointment with Dr. Raza Hamdani by calling 618-998-7239.
This has been the Medical Minute from Heartland Regional.
Logan Fitness at John A. Logan College is open and operating safely for your health. Temperature screening, mask policies, spacious facilities, and frequent cleaning make Logan Fitness the safest location for indoor exercise. Our staff goes the extra mile to ensure that the facility is always clean and regularly disinfected for a great member experience. In addition, our large open areas make it easy to accomplish your workout while still maintaining social distance. All for an affordable price with no contracts. Come see what we're all about at Logan Fitness.
Bianca Shad Owens admits that when she was notified that she and her 3 children would be moving into the newest Habitat for Humanity home, that the happy tears started to flow.
Well, they've done a lot for me. I definitely wasn't expecting to actually get the house, and it was, I'm not gonna lie, I did cry a lot when I found out from Happiness, you know. It's very emotional.
Bianca will be joined in her new home on South 22nd Street in Heron by 2 daughters, 1 son, and their pet basset hound, Randy. This is the 24th home built by Habitat for Humanity of Williamson County, who held a dedication ceremony Thursday that included many of those who helped make the project possible.
This is one of our larger homes that we built, and even in the middle of the pandemic, this house was being worked on. Last year it was started, and we finished it this year, and we're so happy to be able to provide a low-cost home for a resident of Williamson County. We're a Christian-based organization, and we want to show the love of God to our fellow neighbors, and so we were able to do that with this home.
John A. Logan College's Applied Technologies program again helped with the construction of the Habitat home. The program's constructions management class helps with foundation and framing work, while the HVAC class installs the climate control systems.
Well, John A. Logan Applied Technologies program, specifically our construction management and our HVAC, or heating, ventilation, air conditioning, have been involved in multiple Habitat builds here within the 2-county area, especially within Williamson County. And we're just happy to be a part of it just because our students can get some real-world experience, on-the-job experience, but more importantly, a family's going to benefit from a new home.
Habitat for Humanity hopes to start work on house number 25 this fall. The Williamson County Sheriff's Office is investigating after skeletal remains were recovered in the Crab Orchard National Wildlife Refuge Thursday morning. The Sheriff's Office is being assisted by U.S. Fish and Wildlife, the Illinois State Police Crime Scene Services, and Williamson County Coroner Mike Jr. Burke. No information is yet available as to the identity of the deceased. Thanks to Dennis Kellerman and Aaron Price for their reporting on this roundup.
A couple weeks ago, we brought you stories about the Miss Illinois state competition that took place in Marion, and we met the new Miss Illinois Outstanding Teen. But now we want to introduce our viewers to the young woman that will be representing our state at Miss America in December. Not only is she talented and smart, Rachel, but she also continues to serve our community in special ways. So let's meet her.
So I first started competing when I was 17 years old. Someone had told me that I would really like competing because I had always played my violin. I started when I was 4 years old, and they knew that I had a talent, so they said you should just try competing in the Miss Illinois organization. I first competed in Miss Northern Suburbs and won Miss Northern Suburbs Teen in 2013. Then, thankfully, I went to Miss Illinois Teen and won, which was a crazy surprise and blessing and just the coolest, most exciting year. Then I went to college. I went to Miami University of Ohio, and I majored in music and journalism. They were two separate majors, and also had a marketing minor. And then I decided that I wanted to compete again the year I graduated. So I competed again in Miss Northern Suburbs and won, and then came to Miss Illinois in 2018, and I was first runner-up to Grace Kachachurian. And then I started working in the real world and came back this year and won.
Jana Harder.
This was Isabel's winning moment, but now she is preparing to represent Illinois on stage at Miss America. She tells us more about competing.
So our slogan is the Miss America organization prepares women for the world and prepares the world for great women. And honestly, it's done just that with me. And I think if you come to the competition, you can see just the development that happens over the years, from princesses to teens to Miss contestants, and it's really incredible to watch. So through the Miss America organization and the Miss Illinois organization, we're able to gain speaking skills. We learn how to put ourselves out there and to have the confidence to promote something that we're passionate about through our social impact initiative. We also value talent, so whether that's a monologue or a traditional talent like a voice performance or a violin performance, which is what I do, that's something that you get to develop over the years. So the Miss America organization really empowers the whole woman to be the best person that she can be when she's taking on life.
Isabel also took a moment to play a song on her violin for us, so let's take a listen.
So my social impact initiative is called the Media Literacy Movement, and through my years as a reporter, I've realized how important it is for young children to be knowledgeable about media literacy. It's a 21st century skill, and I didn't grow up with Instagram. I think I had a Facebook when I joined high school, maybe when I was a freshman, but now younger and younger, media is a part of children's lives. And so I equip them with the tools to be knowledgeable and critical consumers and users of social media.
Speaking of social media, be sure to follow the Miss Illinois Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages at Miss America IL to keep up with her busy year.
That I've definitely felt the support in Southern Illinois, so I'm so thankful for that. I think you might know me as a reporter, but now I'm Miss Illinois too, and I've already met people who have said, oh, we see you on the news, and now you're Miss Illinois, and so I'm really excited to represent both Southern Illinois and my hometown of Glen Ellen throughout the year and at Miss America, so I'm just incredibly thankful, and I'm thankful for all of the people in Southern Illinois because I feel like these past 3 years working with them have made me who I am today.
This past week, our special correspondent, Aaron Price, shot some drone footage of a sunflower field just north of Creel Springs. He tells us that this is a flyover of Shawnee stems on Boundary Road off of 166. These sunflowers are in season until early August, and the public is invited to pick their own. So keep watching because we'll show you more footage as we close out tonight's broadcast.
Now, Victoria introduced us to Miss Illinois 2021, Isabel Hansen, but there's another young lady in Marion who is doing incredible things. She's a young leader with a big heart who rescues kittens and raises them until they can find their forever home. Let's meet Rose.
My name is Rose Patton, and I am 11 years old. I love to swim and dance. I do classical conversations as my schooling, and I love to foster kittens. Well, we had a problem with kittens in our neighborhood. There was a bunch of cats, and so we got 2 of the cats fixed, and then we found kittens. So we started fostering those kittens, and I enjoyed it so much that I kept going with the kittens and kept fostering. Well, we got these guys when they were a day old, so we had to bottle feed them, and in the feeding we have a bottle and formula, kitten formula, and we feed them. And then when they're old enough, so right now these guys are about 5 weeks, so we give them wet food. So we just learned that St. Francis gives the shots for $13 when they are about 6 weeks, so about next week they can start to get their shots. So we do spend a lot of time with them, like we can do schoolwork and we snuggle them or things like that. We've done 21 kittens so far, and so we do socialize and we just snuggle them and hang out with them. So I watched kitten lady videos on YouTube, and for 6 months I watched videos and I raised money from our community. I just told people and they were like, oh, here, I'll give you something. And then if they even gave donations of things like food dishes, food, formula, anything. And so I would finally, if I had enough money, I would go and find stuff that I needed. And then finally I had my stuff, and so I finally could take on kittens. And so somebody on Facebook just posted, and we were like, okay, yeah, I think we can take those. And so it definitely helped with the videos and the support from the community. I would definitely say that the videos on YouTube helped, and telling people about it really helped because they could help you, and just getting started if you see a need.
Now, Rose tells us that 2 of these precious babies are still available for adoption. They'll be ready to go to their new home in just a few weeks. If you're interested in adopting one of these kittens, or if you'd like to help Rose out in any other capacity, feel free to send us a message on Facebook with your contact information, and we'll pass it along to Rose and her family.
Oh my gosh, Rachel, that is so sweet. I love cats. I'm a cat person. Don't know about you, so I loved that story. But now we'd like to introduce to you a new segment on our sister channel called Heron Live, where we highlight community members and events that take place in Heron. We'll also bring you turning back time stories that bring the history of Heron back to life for our viewers. You can find the monthly segment on the Heron Independent Facebook page.
And that's about it for tonight. As always, if you saw something you liked, be sure you drop us a comment, let us know what it was, share this broadcast with a friend, and hit like. We really appreciate it. Now, this weekend was Mamma Mia, so if anybody went to the show, drop us your photos. We'd love to see you out and about supporting our local actors and actresses as they got to return to the stage over the weekend. We love to see what you all are out and about doing, and we'll be there too. So for Victoria, Bill Swinford, Dennis Kellerman, and the rest of our crew behind the camera, I'm Rachel Stroud. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great week.
The proceeding has been a production of the Marion Star Live. The material may not be reproduced. distributed, transmitted, or otherwise used without the prior written consent of Swinford Publications, LLC.